Before we start with this video, I want to ask you one thing, and that is, what is an asset? According to Robert Kiyosaki, the author of the famous book Rich Dad Poor Dad, has explained asset in a very simple way. According to him, an asset is something that puts money in your pocket. Many accountants and money experts have a much different definition that involves complex mathematics. But the reality is that unless something is putting money in your pocket, it's not an asset. According to Mr. Kiyosaki, the biggest mistake that the poor and middle class people make is spending their lives buying liabilities instead of assets. He teaches that if you want to be rich, you simply need to spend your life buying assets. And there are a lot of different assets which can help you grow your money. But the cheapest among all those assets is the stock or equity. Yes, you can buy stocks at a very cheap price, which will in turn act as an asset and give you some great returns, or if I may say, help you grow with your money. So, what is a stock? Stocks are an investment, which means that you own a share in the company that issued the stock. So when you buy the stock of a company, you are effectively buying an ownership share in that company. Owning a stock doesn't mean that you own a piece of the company's assets. You aren't even entitled to a parking spot in the company's lot. What you actually own is a share in the company's profits, and not only the profits, but its losses too. Let's look at some of the stocks and their returns for the past 10 years. Look at the stock of Bajaj Finance. This stock generated 57.7% CAGR in the past 10 years. So, if you would have bought these shares at Rs 67 in the year 2011, then in the year 2021, you would have been able to sell the same shares at the rate of Rs 6,410, a direct CAGR return of 57.7%, which is not possible in any form of asset. Same goes for the other stocks in the list too, which have given an average return of more than 20% in the last 10 years, and that too in the form of compounding interest, which is said to be the 8th wonder of the world. Let me ask you something. Name me any asset which you can buy at such a low cost and which will give you such a high return. I'm not saying that there are no other assets. There are real estate properties, but what is the current price of buying a property in a good locality? And let's not talk about FD, because the rate at which inflation is going on, investing in FD is the same as keeping your money in the bank. So, if you want to grow your money at a very low amount, then I think stocks are the best assets for you. But that doesn't mean that you will just go ahead and invest your money in any stocks you like. That's a big no, because historically, the stock market has delivered generous returns to investors over time, but it has also gone down, presenting investors with the possibility of both profits and loss. Therefore, we must keep some things in mind before investing in the stock market. Number 1. Know your financial goals. If you start a journey, then you need to know two things. First is the destination, and second is the right vehicle. You should know why you want to invest. If you decide beforehand, you can accordingly plan your trades or investments. It is often suggested that choosing a long-term investment potentially gives high returns. Analyze your risk profile. If you are hoping for only the best returns from your investments, then there might be a little overconfidence involved in it, because while you are getting ready to invest in the stock market, you must also keep in mind the risks associated with it. And once you have understood your investment risks, you can make an informed investment decision. Keep your emotions far away. There is a common phrase which says that never mix your personal and professional life. And this goes the same for investing in the stock market as well. The stock market rewards those who are disciplined in their investment activities. But you need to control your emotions. And the only way to deal with it is by being practical and not greedy. Do your research first. The stock market may seem attractive, but it has always been suggested that you do your research before investing any amount of money. You must educate yourself about the basics of the stock market. Learning how to research stocks means looking at a range of factors such as company's financials, leadership team, and competition to evaluate a stock and decide whether it deserves a spot in a portfolio of investments. Never borrow money to invest in the stock market. The biggest mistake while investing would be to make an investment that you cannot afford. Always make sure you have 6 to 12 months worth of monthly expenses in savings before you put a penny in the stock market. Remember, Even though you might be investing in some of the best and most stable stocks around, no one can fully predict which way a stock will go in the short term, and you don't want to be caught in a situation where you are forced to sell your stocks because you desperately need the money to survive. I too was skeptical when I first invested in the stock market, but I didn't have a large amount of money to invest in any other assets, and on the other hand, I also wanted to grow my money. So the only achievable asset for me was the stocks, as I was able to get them at the budget I had. But before investing, as I spoke in the video, I did a lot of research, read a lot of investment related books, and also studied some of the successful investors. And once I gained the knowledge about the stocks, I was all ready and made my first investment in the stock market, and within a year I got positive returns which I never expected. So if you too are thinking of growing your money and have small amount with you, then you can start off with investing in the stock market. Yes, the stock market is volatile, but if you are invested for a long term and have researched well before investing in the stocks, then I'm pretty sure you will achieve some great positive returns from the stock market. As Mr. Warren Buffett has said, if you aren't willing to own a stock for 10 years, don't even think about owning it for 10 minutes.